afternoon to everyone present. My name is Stephanie P. Andicoy, and I will be your moderator for the first panel discussion of the day. All of you are gathered here today to hear and learn about our chosen topic. Senior high school, essential step or added burden? This particular subject will be discussed by the following panelists. Everyone, please give them a round of applause to welcome each and every individual who will discuss this topic and share their experience and knowledge. We warmly welcome Ms. Crisaline S. Akyat, the Secretary of DepEd, for attending our panel discussion. Thank you, ma'am, for attending.
Nakitutok mo sa bibig mo yun.
Now, let us proceed to Ms. Eliza Isabel S. Arevalo, the Chairman of the Commission of Higher Education, or most popularly known as CHED. Thank you for giving us your time today, ma'am. Please take a seat. Now, here is Ms. Micah Julia C. Busal, or Senator Busal rather, who is part of our Congress. Everyone, please give her a round of applause. And as for our fourth panelist, here is Sir Stephen Rodel P. Asorio, a grade 10 student from San Jose del Monte National Grade School. Welcome, sir. Please take a seat. Now, here is, please also lend a hand to Miss Carty A. Briones, an English master teacher from Bulacan State University.
Microphone, anak, sa bibig.
Thank you for your presence today, ma'am. Now, also please welcome Sir Lawrence F. Ampunan, a college student in UP Diliman, and also Ms. Ma Angelica B. Busel, the Director General of TESDA. Welcome to both of you. And now, last but not the least, let us welcome Sir Carl Jared C. Corsino, the Principal of Sapang Palay National High School. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome. Now that our introductions are out of the way, let us now formally start. I will now present my questions. Most people deem that the K-12 program is extremely necessary. I must ask, if it's so important, do you all agree that we should add another year to senior high?
I think adding more years would just prolong their senior high school education. For me, adding another years is just unnecessary, even with just 2 years. Students will know what to do when they get to college and they don't need an additional year for K-12.
Yes, like Ms. Sakyat had said, I am not in favor of extending senior high school as it might impose a significant financial burden on families living in poverty or those belonging to the middle income sectors who may lack the means to support their child's education.
I would like to say too that I also disagree because I think DepEd should fix the existing subject first instead of adding another year. Students from grade 11 and 12 are already taking too many classes. They have around 15 subjects and that's just too many. Especially if those subjects of theirs don't even have any connection to the course that they pick. That particular problem should be the first thing that needs to be corrected. We need to have a better education, not more education.
I see. Then what about taking away a year? If we reduce the senior high school to only consisting of the 11th grade, then it wouldn't be that much of a problem now, would it?
Well, I don't acknowledge what Senator Busel said, though personally, I do think that reducing a year from the K-12 curriculum wouldn't be necessary anymore. 1 year isn't enough for all the training that they go through and more.
If senior high school were reduced by just the 11th grade,
it could indeed possibly ease some burdens, especially financial ones. However, I disagree with this since it will cause quite a lot of problems. Senior high school was designed to prepare students for real-life college and employment. And cutting it in 1 year means that we'll have no choice but to compact all those lessons and subjects in that year. And since senior high school was designed to help students become prepared for college, cutting it will weaken its main purpose.
If we reduce the years from 2 years to only a year, students will have insufficient time in properly learning about their chosen course, making them unprepared for college.
Does that mean that taking away grades 11 to 12 really equips students with everything that they need to know in real life situations?
I do actually. Grade 11 and 12 were made to prepare students for college, work, or business. The different tracks like academic or TVL help students choose based on their goals. Subjects like practical research and work immersion teach us useful skills like teamwork and real job experience. But still, I do see some problems in the current curriculum. Not all schools have enough resources, and not to mention, many students don't get proper guidance in choosing the right track, so they follow what's available at their school.
Yes, I do think it does equip them with all the necessary skills. These years provide students with knowledge for real-life situation by developing object-oriented thinking and problem-solving skills, improving time management, organizations, building resilience, adaptability, and preparing them for future education or career paths. Though, I'd also like to point out that even if senior high does try to prepare students for the real world, just completing grade 11 and 12 does not automatically mean that they will be accepted in jobs, since employers nowadays specifically looking for college graduate and not K-12 graduates.
Then what do you think about the curriculum? Do you think that it should be mandatory still or optional instead?
It would be better to have senior high school become optional to give students and families the freedom to choose, especially for those in situations where time and financial support are limited, such as students with elderly parents. Making senior high school would be better to senior high school to graduate earlier and still be supported by their families.
Well said, Senator Busel. As for my own point of view, I would also prefer senior high school to be optional. Not only for the freedom of the students and families, but it is also so that the student can choose on their own of whether or not they'd like to go through senior high.
For me, senior high school should stay mandatory, mainly because it helps students become more prepared for college, work, and even starting a small business. It gives us time to learn important skills like communication, research, and real job experiences. If it becomes optional, many students don't If it becomes optional,
Okay, I think we have enough for Sir Orsino. Thank you for answering. Now that I see the point each of you are making, but let me ask, what do you think are the possible pros and cons if the students did decide to skip this preparation stage?
the benefits of skipping this stage of preparation, I would say, is most probably the removal of any sort of pressure on the students and teachers. Skipping senior high could mean saving money instead of spending it on school expenses and on various activities regarding school. Because, however, includes the risk of student like me being unprepared, causing them to choose the wrong track or course once they step into college.
Ah, yes. I'd also like to add that the possible cons is that the students might have this big knowledge gap between them. And those select others that have decided not to skip grades 11 and 12. Without preparation, the future grades and overall academic standing they get in college would be greatly affected. And there's a possibility that it could lead to stress and increased anxiety.
Senior high school highly affects the students for it helps them be more prepared for college. Skipping this stage could also mean early entry into the work or entrepreneurship. While it sounds good, it might also lead to gaps of knowledge, skills, and limited access to resources and opportunities.
I'd also like to add that the senior high school is crucial for most students. Albeit students fear entering college, the senior high school can help build the students' adaptability and resilience according to Ms. Ahiyat had said earlier. Moreover, this can also show us how will the students adapt and handle the work and college life that they had now.
Very well put. Now, I think our panel discussion has come to an end. Now, everyone, please give them a round of applause.